Today we got the CPO of Lempire, so I'm super excited to hear more about. He's going to be talking about building SaaS products in a competitive market, which we all know SaaS is competitive. So we're going to hear about actually building that market. Super excited to hear more. Just a quick introduction. Myself, been working in product for just over 4 years, kind of in multiple different places, ops, project management, doing many different things, as well as product. Very excited to be a part of the product people journey. Great business, great people. What we do, our mission is just to help others discover and deliver products faster. We do a lot of the unglamorous hands-on work, from ops to product management, product leader, and we do that on an interim fractional basis. From it's normally 3 to 36 months. We've got around 40 really talented in-house product managers. So give us a call, and a 25,000 person community. We're going to have a quick poll here, designed, I believe, by Robin and Hannah here. Looking forward to seeing what the results are. So basically, we just want to get to know you quickly and just get some interaction. How would you describe the market your company is playing in? So red ocean, quite competitive, emerging blue ocean. Okay, and then we've got, what do you think the most competitive dimension to win in a very competitive market is? Creativity, speed, positioning. I'm keen to hear the answer on that. Keen to hear the answer on that second question. I'm just going to give that a second for the answers to come in, and then we'll see the results.
I'm very curious about the answers.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone's quite quite competitive and emerging. Speed and positioning. Okay.
Great.
Maybe Robin, maybe you can talk to that in your presentation.
Yes, definitely.
Cool. And on that note, we're going to hand over to Robin here, CEO or head of products at Lempire. Looking forward to hearing your presentation and hearing more. A little bit about the journey, but I'm excited to hear more. I'm going to let you take over there.
Yes, okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. You should be able to see it right now.
We can see it.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So, hey, today I'm going to talk about building B2B SaaS products in a very competitive market. So, oops, zooming on the wrong image. A bit of context. So, I work at Lempire. We are a company that was started 5 years ago with $100. That's the story. It's a true story. And we went from 0 to 22.5 million in ARR. And today we are less than 100 people, and we have 5 products in the ecosystem. And basically, the mission is to help people and businesses grow by crafting cool B2B SaaS products. Today you probably heard about Lemlist. If you want to get meeting booked with your prospects, Lemcal is for a new product we just built. I've seen, Josh, that you still use Calendly. You should use Lemcal. And we have Lemworm, which was a feature of Lemlist, but we decided to make it as a standalone product. Make sure your deliverability is high and you're going to not land in spam. And we also have SweetHunter and Tapio, the 2 tools to build your personal brands on Twitter and on LinkedIn. About me. So I'm Robin, head of products currently at Lempire. I have an engineering background. I did 2 years of freelancing and it's the first product role. So there was no one before. And I've built the product team completely. And I joined when we were only at 4 million IR. We were around 20 to 25 people. So it was still a bootstrap startup. And it's crazy to see the progression from being a startup to being like a real scale up with still crazy growth. So yeah, pretty cool. And the important question that we had on the poll, what do you think is the most important dimension to win in a very competitive market? So most people from the poll answers, your company is playing in a quite competitive markets. Yeah, mostly people were right. I think if you only had to choose one thing in this list, it would be speed. Speed is key. Like it's really, really important. There is a real speed bonus for software company, especially. And those building digital products have the advantage of being able to iterate very fast. And if you don't embrace this, well, you're not going to be the winner most of the time. Obviously, there is no rules, it's products. There is a lot of ways to do it. But from what we've seen, this is really key. And even if you're not playing in a hyper-competitive market, all the lever I will present will help you increase your success. In any case, speed is like a very important dimension of your work. Before you ask, yes, speed and quality are fully compatible. I don't know if you know about this. This is Patrick Collison's blog, and he has a super nice article called Fast. And he's just listing like some example of people quickly accomplishing ambitious things together. And you can check the list. It's pretty crazy. Like you can see the Eiffel Tower, Apollo 8, Disneyland, iPod, JavaScript, TGV, COVID-19 vaccine, Git, Amazon Prime. So yes, speed and quality are fully compatible. It's possible. Is it easy? No, but it's possible. So yeah, there are a lot of levers to increase your velocity. Especially product teams. I think there are a lot of common mistakes that product teams make. And we're going to check them one by one, at least the one I think are the most impactful. First problem, not understanding that there are different types of product decision. A very nice mental model to have is that a bet is a decision about an uncertain future, and all product decisions are bets. Because the reality is that the world is too chaotic, too random to be predictable. And so every company, even if you do a lot of research, you're still making bets. You never really validate that the stuff you're working on are going to work, right? And that explains a lot. Like there is companies who just throw stuff on the wall, only intuition, only stakeholder discussion in the ballroom, and yet they have a lot of success. And it's also the other way around. There are companies that do a lot of research, yet they are not really successful and the product are not good. So this is a really nice framework to have. Yeah, very important. All the work you're going to do before shipping something, it only helps you de-risk the bet, but never validate the decision. And I think that's really key. It's a very good mental model to have. And the only true validation is when you ship something and you get the expected success. So most of the time, it's obviously user impact value and business value. Most of the time, it's money. There indirect monetization also. But yeah, keeping it simple. So yeah, one very important concept, maybe you already heard about it, is the type 1 and type 2 decision. So it's coming from Amazon. It's a pretty famous framework, but I think it's very, very nice to apply in products. So every time you have a decision to make, you have to ask yourself, is this easily reversible? If yes, you decide quickly and you act. And if no, you take the time, you think about it, you do the research, and then you act. And it's very easy to say. A lot of people are going to be like, yeah, that's like I know, but actually most product teams don't really do this because there are so many decisions we are all taking every day, and we're just spending so much time like taking the decision, acting on it, and we could have just like ship it today and see what's gonna happen, have a lot of learning generated, and iterate to get to the desired outcome. So I think it's actually a bit more like that. You could see it as a how would you say, like a progress bar. So some decisions are between the two. It's not binary. It's just a framework to have. I will give some example. Like when you're making, for instance, you're gonna make billing changes in your product. If you're doing SaaS, those kind of change are very often pretty heavy. They have a big opportunity cost, and they are very hard to revert most of the time. And so if you have to be really sure of what you're doing, you can't just like throw the stuff on the wall and see what's happened. In this case, this is a type 1 decision. So it's very hard to get back. You can see it as a door. It's like type 1 decision, it's a one-way door. Type 2 decision is the two-way door. And so another example is like just you are adding a new feature and it's super quick to build. You don't have to do like hours and hours of discovery. You could just be like quite confident, ship it on the market, see what's happened, and doesn't work, it's a big fail. Okay, you can just remove it. It's very easy. So this is the kind of framework to have for every product decision you're gonna take. And I think already just this is gonna be very impactful in a lot of teams because a lot of people don't really, are not really conscious of this, even if they know about this framework. There is like this nice quote from Andrew Staten from Pixar. It's when faced with two hills and you're unsure which to attack, the best course of action is to hurry up and choose. Like if you discover it's the wrong hill, you can always turn around and attack the other. But you will fail for as long as you can. You continue standing still and running in between the hills. And that's very, very true, I think. The more you wait and the more you're are stagnant in taking a decision, the time is running. And for type 2 decision, just taking the decision, even if it's the wrong one, and you probably know, you know it, you're going to generate in a lot of cases so much learning that's tweaking the course of action afterward is going to make you faster than just standing still and thinking. So very, very important. And yeah, most product team treats type 2 decision as type 1 decision. I'm repeating myself, but this is a main cause of wasting a lot of precious time and effort. And I think it's really, really important. That's my take. Good product team consider 2 dimensions when making product decision. Most of the time, in most product team, what you're going to see is like expected impact. It can be manifested as success metrics you're going to put. And you're going to also think about the opportunity cost. So it's just how much time and effort do we need to get to this impact. I like to think that great product team consider 4 dimensions. So that's like, you can think of this as the bet condition. So you have the expected impact. That's this, you are like an investor. So which impact are you looking for? How much does it cost to get there? So how much money? Here it's just the time and effort of the team you're going to invest. And I think the 2 other dimensions, they are very close, but it's risk. How risky is it? How confident are you in this decision? And reversibility. And this is type 1 and type 2 decisions. So how easy will it be to get back to the initial state if this is not working as expected? And when you start to have this mental model, you don't really have to put like, I don't know if you're using Notion, Linear, Jira, whatever. You don't have to put this in every ticket, document, PRD, but it's just a good mental model to have. There is a lot of, and it's very dependent. So you could reduce the risk, for instance, by increasing the opportunity cost. So very simple example, it's risky. There is a lot of unknowns. You're going to do a lot of discovery to reduce and de-risk the bet. But if you do this, you're just increasing the opportunity cost. So you have to make sure the expected impact, it's still worth it for what you're investing right now. And this is where it gets interesting because everything you're gonna do can be passed through this filter, and I'm sure it's gonna help you take way better decision. And also risk and reversibility are very close concept. You can say reversibility is one phase of risk. And also you can reduce both expected impact and opportunity cost to reduce the risk of the bet. I'm going to give you an example. I'm sure a lot of you heard about ShapeUp, the methodology. You have this notion of appetite where you just have a fixed time in a variable scope. So in that case, you could say you could reduce the appetite. So you're just reducing the opportunity cost because that's the variable you are controlling in this method. And you can also reduce the expected impact. And the solution, since the scope is variable, are not going to be the same. Like if I give you 3 days to work on the new onboarding and the expected impact is like 3% of activation increase, it's not going to be the same if I say you're going to have 1 month, but we're looking for 20. obviously the solution are going to be quite different. And I like to have this framework also, like in normal circumstances. I don't really like this word, but I didn't find any better wording. You will launch when you are 60% confident in type 2 decisions. So you will play mostly safe. You will be a bit slow, to be honest, but that's one way to play. There are a lot of different contexts, like for instance, obviously fintech, health tech. If you're like working on a Archer product, obviously you can't really, you have to be sure and your solution has to be reliable, but most of the time you can apply this. And when it's a type 1 decision, so it's very hard to get back, you can aim at 90% of confidence. I would say in a highly competitive market, it's a bit different. You have to take way more risk. That's the thing. You have to play risky. And so you will get more velocity, but yeah, obviously you're going to do riskier bets. But if you have all the thing I'm explaining here in mind, you can pretty much manage the risk in a good way. So for type 2 decision, I would launch when you are like 10 to 30% confident. I would even say 0 sometimes. Sometimes they are just ideas, intuition, and you have to throw stuff on the wall and try. And sometimes it's going to be a success. You never know. You never know until you ship it and people are using it as expected, right? And for type 1 decision, I would launch when you are 60 to 70 percent confident. Yes, it can seem low, but actually I think it's not that low. If you're really keen on de-risking the right and the most riskiest hypothesis first, the 30% remaining should be like only the smaller detail. That's something you can iterate later on, right? So nice quotes. You want to be the first one to hit that brick wall. I'm saying the first one about you regarding competitors. So you just have to throw stuff, take a lot of bets, and be the first at hitting this brick wall, because you're going to generate a lot more learning faster, and you're going to iterate a lot faster. More on that later. Oops. So yeah, you will reach the expected outcome faster. So yeah, just throw stuff on the wall and see what sticks. I know this is hard for product people to hear. Sometimes we are, especially right now, the discovery is very trendy. And we mostly talk about analytics, yes, user research, interview, survey. They are very important. They are critical. But we often just forget to sometimes take crazy bets. I think it's Retool and Stripe. They had this this notion of the whole company is gonna feel like a form every year, I think, where they're gonna, everyone can give the craziest product idea they have, and they commit to taking one every year, every quarter, and they're gonna build it. Even if they like quite unsure it's super risky, they're gonna do it. And that's actually, to me, throwing stuff on the wall and see what sticks. And they said that they had like a lot of success doing this sometime. So think about what you're missing, not doing that, instead of, oh, that's risky, I'm not going to do that. And very important mental model also, the ROI of too much discovery. So at the beginning, doing a bit of discovery for this subject is nice because you're gonna de-risk a lot, like the riskiest hypothesis, blah, blah, blah. But when you want to get to this, for instance, 60 to 70 to 100% confidence before shipping something, there is a lot of diminishing returns. You have to be really aware of this, because you're gonna spend a lot of time and energy doing this, and ask yourself, is it worth it? You could just throw your solution in production and generate learnings, feedbacks, and iterate and get to the same result faster. That's how I like to think about it. Do this in test. So yeah, you just launch a V1 as fast as possible. But yeah, obviously you do pre-launch learnings. Something a lot of people don't do, I noticed, is just to look at existing insights. So I'm sure you already have like a lot of feedbacks, data available. People always look for new stuff. They want to reach out to new users. Like interviews are the best tool, I think, but they are very time consuming. And so when you can rely on the existing insights, you can speed up the process so much. And a lot of people forget about this. It's really important. And even there is a lot of internal knowledge before you join about in the product team, maybe you should rely on this. So a good mindset to have is, can we ship it this tomorrow? It sounds crazy, but actually when you really apply it, sometimes it makes sense. To be honest, you're just working on stuff and you're like, can we ship this tomorrow? You're going to throw away like 50% of the plan work of the scope, but you're just keeping the most important part and you will ship it. Time to value for users is super short. Time to learning for you is super short. In the long term, time to outcome is shorter. So yeah, if we have to ship it tomorrow, what would be kept? So basically what I'm saying, and where are we losing too much time? So this is a very important question to ask yourself and the team. We see it's hard to build product team, cross-product team, autonomy, agile, so many words. There is a whole industry about agile methodologies. There is so many different methods and philosophies, but you have to be very pragmatic. Like in your context with the people you're working with, in your market, for instance, if you are in a very hyper competitive market and your product nature, what do you need? Actually, like be very, very pragmatic and always try to reduce the processes. Like I think that's the best. Read the Agile Manifesto, and the first principle is like people over processes, and that's very important. So yeah, so many teams waste time on like too much documentation. Sometimes PMs are like called Notion guys, Notion folk in companies, and that's actually a very bad manifestation of like people spending too much time on the processes and wrong stuff. Not saying it's not important, but always think about it. So the second problem for where product team lose a lot of velocity is not diversifying your roadmap with a different type of bets. So your roadmap should be charcuterie board. I'm French, so I know a lot about charcuterie board. Maybe you too. So it's a nice framework, image to have. Like your roadmap should be very, there should be a lot of variety. Like if you go to the restaurant, you order a charcuterie board and there is only one cheese on the whole board, you're going to be quite angry, right? You want to have different stuff. You want to try different flavor of cheese, meats, carrots, tomatoes, everything. You want the whole. So do the same for your roadmaps. My advice, it's very hard to give because I don't know how your team works, the size of your team, your squad, if you're working in squad, but a good rule of thumb is to aim for 1 to 2 big bets per quarter, aim for 2 to 3 medium bets, and fill the rest with small bets and quick wins. Also, I'm going to give another advice. Use no next later roadmaps. I think they are like the best format because the more you invest in time, the more uncertain the future is going to be, and the more this kind of roadmap can show this. So also it's nice to put, maybe that's just me, but I like to put like iteration padding on my roadmaps. So after each big subject, you can put like just a block. You call it iteration padding. So it gives you a lot of room to act, because if you don't do this, and I see this in a lot of roadmaps, so people are just putting one subject and then the other right after it. And the problem is like you're making the assumption that the first subject is going to be done perfect first time, which is not true. So to give a bit of room for iterations, you can just put like 1 or 2 weeks blocks between your items, so that it gives a lot of room. If you don't have to iterate, it's fine. It's time where you can invest in quick wins, technical debt, maybe bugs, quick fixes, even delights. Some stuff like designer wants to push in roadmaps. It's very hard because a lot of time it's not linked to direct business results, but like small interaction, animation, that kind of stuff. So you can use this time for this. And yeah, it's very important to do this because it lets you keep a shipping rhythm and your customer getting value all the time. And it's important, like momentum. There is speed, but there is also momentum. You have to keep the speed on. And also for your users, like it gives so much good impression to your customers if you keep shipping value all the time, and they're gonna have like a lot of surprise, and they want to know the next thing, and like they feel confident in your abilities to provide value to them. So that's very, very important. A very nice example, maybe you've seen those graphs. If you don't diversify your roadmap with different type of bets, and imagine you only do big bets, so, and it's very waterfall-like, the outcomes you want to achieve is going to be low, and that's the goal at the end of 12 weeks. It's to achieve the outcome, and the uncertainty, oh, sorry, my English, it's pretty high, and what you're going to do is just ship something in a long time, and you are not sure if it's going to work. Maybe it's going to be, you're going to do like a lot of research, you're going to do a lot of stuff. You will achieve a bit of the outcome you wanted, the expected success, but not that much. And if you take another team and they do like smaller bets, they are more risk-taking, they adapt very fast. That's actually like one of the key agile to me dimension that a lot of people forget. It's like adaptability. So if you ship smaller, you take more risk, you go slow when needed. For instance, you could have, oh, that bet is like a bit riskier. It's not easily reversible, like type 1 decision. Okay, we're going to take a lot of time and we're going to do a lot of research, for instance, make sure the solution is super reliable. And in that case, it's not 100% true, but most people are going to achieve the outcome faster this way. And the uncertainty is decreasing way faster. So good example. The last problem is that spending too much time on discovery. It's hard for me to say that because I really love discovery. I think it's critical, but the truth is that sometimes we spend way too much time on it. For instance, a good quote for people is like type 2 decisions. So the one that are easily reversible. I like to say that the delivery is actually the best discovery you can do. Just ship it. Like ship it and see. It's gonna make you get way more learnings than just doing survey interview for 1 month. So yeah, discovery is critical, but it's very time consuming. We all know we should do regular user research. Continuous discovery is like a very hype also concept, and we should avoid opinion-driven development. I like to think a bit more nuanced. I think you need both, to be honest. Most of the time, it should be backed by your research, and Just Enough Research is a good book on this, if you don't know about it. But I also think that sometimes you just have to throw stuff on the wall, as I said, even especially for type 2 decisions. So both are important. But good news, there are ways to speed up the process. So I'm going to show you what we do at lempire. So we have automated the collection of inbound insights. So I like to separate the two. There is outbound insight is when we're gonna fetch insights outside. So we're gonna do interviews, we're gonna do surveys, and they are very time consuming. And you also have a lot of inbound insights. It's like support tickets coming in, sales feedback in the CRM, people just filling your feedback form on your product if you have one, stuff like this. So I like to separate both. And to me, it's very, very nice and makes you save so much time to automate the collection of inbound insight. We're using Zapier, like everybody can use it. It's really easy. And I've set up automation from Intercom to Dovetail. So we train Dovetail at the moment to centralize everything. But and I'm also like doing the same on Slack. We have a NPS directly pushed there. Yes, because by the way, the Intercom integration on Zapier is pretty bad. If there is 1 p.m. of intercom in this room, I would like to fix this. And yeah, also we have a lot of inbound insight. It's just like a Slack channel we have at lempire where people can just give us insight directly there. It's easy for them, right? And also make it super easy for people to reach out to you. So I've made a Twitter thread. You can check it online about this. And I tried a lot of stuff to actually do this, like real continuous discovery with the least input required for me and my team. And there is like super easy levers, and a lot of people don't do them. For instance, on Lemlist, on the dashboard, we wanted to do a lot of discovery at the time because we were like in a quite uncertain moment to get to an expected outcome. So what we did was just like pushing or Calendly link directly on the product like this. How is your experience with Lemlist so far? And a lot of people actually schedule interview with us. We just had to look at our calendar and we had interviews with users. Pretty cool, right? The only problem is that you can't really segment a specific type of users. Like if, for instance, you only want new users or power users or paying users or churn users, obviously they're not on your product anymore. So it's going to be hard. But most of the time it's nice for like continuous discovery. But I think you should always do both, to be honest. Also pin post on our community. It's like use the marketing channel you have. A lot of people don't do this, but you actually use it. We do, like a lot of people do it with sales team. They're gonna ask the sales team or the CS, the support for getting in touch with users, but the marketing is also a very nice way to get there. So use it. Also intercom campaigns. So you can use other tools. There is a Spring, for instance, for doing in-app surveys. They are very good for getting quick and cheap insights. That's how I like to put it. Sometimes you just have one hypothesis or two. You just want to test it quickly. You can just like make a survey. If you have enough people using your product every day, you have like even 50 DIU every day. You can get answers to you and validate or not hypothesis like in one day or even 1 hour. It's pretty crazy. So a lot of people don't do this, and that's like so much time saved. Yeah, I liked about the the beginning of the presentation. But the question, what do you think is the most important dimension to win in a very competitive market? Because yes, it's speed, but positioning is also crucial. If I only had to choose one, I would choose speed, because I think speed is important in every case, and speed can get you to do creative stuff, for instance, or try a lot of stuff to get to a good positioning. So I would say it's like a leading metric of the other one, but yeah, positioning is absolutely important. I would say the two are a bit different. It's very close, but differentiation and positioning are crucial. So be very mindful of your differentiation and positioning. You want to really stand out from the competition. Like, good question to ask yourself. You have to be very pragmatic. What would people choose you versus the plethora of other competitors? And a lot of people don't ask themselves this question. And you see products next to each other. You can't tell the difference. It's hard. It's like so impactful to be standing out from the competition. It's very, very important. And you all know this Apple ads at the time with the guy, I am a PC and I am a Mac. And that's a nice example because they just like make it very explicit with difference. And it worked crazy good. But just picture this. You get into a supermarket, there is a lot of products. Why would they choose you? That's like the most important question. And I think like product teams actually should feel responsible for this. Like it depends, obviously, in a lot of companies, it's different. Some product people are gonna do the go-to-market a bit, help on the marketing side. In other team, they're not gonna do it at all. But I think like all the team should be feeling responsible for this, because product team have like a lot of insights on those kind of on this work, and you can bring a lot. So yeah, very important for me to always think about this. A very good read on positioning is like obviously awesome. It's a very famous book. A lot of people probably heard about it or already read this book. But yeah, they have this super nice framework, like where you can say, okay, competitive alternative, key unique attributes, value, customer that care, market you win. And that's one way to do it. You can also just be very pragmatic. Like I think the most important thing about differentiation and positioning is like, just don't be different just to be different. It sounds very cringy, but that's true. Like your differentiation should be actually backed by something. Most of the time, it should be value. Differentiation from in the products, it should be something unique your product does, but it actually brings value to people. If it doesn't, and it's just for the sake of being different, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna be as impactful. So very important. And a very cringe, but I think it's true question to ask yourself is, how do you expect to stand out if you do the same thing as your competitors? And it sounds very easy to say, but if you ask yourself this question, a lot of time you will see that you do the same as your competitors. So how do you expect to be unique? So thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks so much for that. There's lots of questions, I'm sure. I certainly have a few. I'm going to quickly, hang on, give me 1 second. Oh, my computer is now. There you go. Internet took a dive for a second. We're back. We work in technology, promise. Cool. So this is time for Q&A, guys. We have, I'm getting questions from all the platforms, so please feel free if you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, or Zoom, just post in the channel, post in the comments. We will, handpick a few and ask Robin until we're up. While those are coming in, we're just going to go through, just want to say thank you again, Robin. That was really, really great. Before we move on, that was awesome. Really, really awesome. So from the product people side, just from, when to engage us. So we've got, we're an interim, primarily interim and fractional product managers. Like I said in the beginning, 3 to 9 months, we do I think I have seen a project up to 36 months. That's a push, but we kind of sweet spots 3 to 9, 3 to 12. So parental cover, permanent positions cover while you're hiring, or important urgent initiatives. Like I said, we have some really, really talented folk on our team. So important urgent initiatives, super useful for that. Product coaching and consulting, and then product discovery. That's pretty self-explanatory. We've got a wealth of knowledge in our team, as you'll see going on when I show you one of the slides going forward. What we're not doing, we're not recruiters, we're not freelance marketplace, we're not a freelance marketplace, and we're not development agencies. We can definitely put you in touch with some top-notch people doing those things, but we are not those people. Some of our clients, Freenow, Tier, Back Market, Freeletics, all big companies that I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, Zalando, Cosia. And those are B2C clients. Our B2B clients, World Health Organization, Happy, Remote, Utopia. Yeah, there's some big names there, which is pretty awesome. Just some positive feedback. Don't really want to read that. But this is some of our stats here. We've worked with 70 plus clients from Series A all the way through to publicly listed companies. Like I said earlier, we've got 40 product leaders and product managers available at your disposal. And 60% of our team are women. 60% of that is in leadership, which is super exciting. There's a quick image of all of the good-looking folk. Look at them. We're hiring as well. If you know anyone, if you want to have a look at getting involved and joining us, we are hiring. And then so we'll go through the Q&A right now. I've got a few in the chat, Robin. Let me just stop sharing actually. Cool. So there was one in the beginning that I quite liked. So someone asked Maria asked, are you saying that a 1-hour customer interview as a part of discovery is more time consuming than a full team developing a queue and QAing a new feature? Of course, too much is too much, but generally I'm struggling.
Yes. So I think, it's different in every team. Like I'm going to give my context. We have a lot of senior developers and things go very fast. We just don't have that much time to get something to production, to be honest. It's quite awesome. I know that a lot of company, it's different. Like every team is different. So depends on your context. Again, everything I'm saying, it can work in mine, not work in yours. Take some ideas, adapt it, But to be honest, 1-hour customer interview, you have to account for the time to get to this interview. This is what get time. It's not like doing the actual interview. It's the time before to find outreach people, get them into a call, not having no show-ups. And afterwards, you have to transcribe it, or even if you take live notes, but I think live notes are a big mistake, but anyway. And then, you have to synthesize everything. So to be honest, it's always more than 1 hour, and you have to always take this into account. But I agree. It's really dependent on everything. Like I said, to meet opportunity costs and risk every time. So if you want to reduce the risk by doing more discovery, you're going to increase the opportunity cost. And maybe that's fine because the expected success you want is high. Maybe that's not, because then you make the bet less interesting, right?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, it's always different contextually as well, like you said. So Satika from LinkedIn asked, thanks for the presentation. She said, thanks for the presentation. She said, thanks for the presentation. I have one question. Do you recommend research to continue post-product launch as well, or is it crucial only at the discovery phase?
Yes, both. If you had to keep one, that's a hard one. To be honest, I'm not sure, but I would maybe keep the post one, because at least you can always try stuff. As I said, only throw stuff on the wall. There are a lot of company doing this and it worked. Let's be honest. Some people have a very good intuition. That's like a reality. Some people don't, but I think it's rare. But a lot of people have good intuition, and to me, I just see this as a tool. And so, if someone has a super good intuition, I'm not gonna spend no. We need to take 2 or 3 weeks of discovery. I know that most of the time you're right. I'm using this as a tool, right? So that's the mindset I'm having. But they are both important. Again, it depends on the subject. Some subject there is a lot of unknown before, and so discovery makes a lot of sense. Actual good discovery, and after discovery, it, to me, should be like a must every single time. You should never ship stuff and be blind. That's like the worst you can do. Always look forward, like vision, the roadmap, the next bet you're gonna make, but also always look back, like what you've shipped. Does it work? Do you actually achieve the expected success? Yes, no, iterate, remove. Like a lot of companies are not ready to do this, but if you can push this culture, like to unship stuff, so that you reduce the feature factory effects and just keep your product simple, that's the best.
Okay, cool. I've got one quick one that I wanted to ask. So you talked about positioning there quickly. At the end there, you talked about positioning. There's 2 things. Have you got another book other than April Dunford's? Because she seems to be the only fantastic book. Are there any other resources? And then secondly, how do you see positioning within lempire? Is it included in the product managers, or have you got is it outsourced into a different department?
Yes. Okay. For the first question, what's the name of the book again?
I was just wondering if there's anything other than April Dunford's obviously awesome that you've read other than that.
Okay. No, I did not. I buy a lot of books on my Kindle, but I have the backlog of books I have to read on my Kindle is bigger than the backlog of stuff on my roadmap. So I have a lot I have some about this, but I need to start then. No, it's mostly to be honest, talking with people internally. There are a lot of talented people at Empire, especially on the subjects. And also we just hang around with a lot of people in networking and people with super strong positioning, and it's always super interesting to discuss this with them. As for if people are responsible at Empire for positioning like PMs, yes and no. Before it was not directly mentioned explicitly, but we sometimes made suggestion, but it was mostly owned by the marketing or marketing, sorry. But right now we are trying, we like to try stuff. We iterate a lot, even on the way we organize and we work all together. And so you all seen the Airbnb saying that PM should do more product marketing, be
that's why
the
I asked,
PMM too. And it kind of resonates with us because we like to take things and this. Okay, wouldn't make sense at Lempire, and we decided to try out for the next 3 months. So right now PMs are trained.
Oh, I
Not
can't
sure
wait to hear how
how.
that goes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting experiment, but we don't fully own it. We are responsible. We still have like marketers with us helping out, obviously. But yeah, we're trying out.
Collaborative effort. Okay, cool. Yeah. So there's another question here from Imran on LinkedIn. Should one focus first on being on par with the competitor or being different?
That's a very good one because we are actually in the same position, for instance, for lempire, our new product. And I think it's hard to decide, to be honest. It really depends. I don't have good answers, but I can try to give some directions. So it really depends. If your differentiation value is intense enough to bring people, even if you're like not, let's say, as the commodity of every competitors are like this, you're like here, you can try to play this, to be honest. It can work. Like there are some products, they have so much uniqueness and this brings so much value that people are like easy, are gonna be tolerant of you not having the full feature set. But I think if your differentiation is not intense enough, which is most of the case, to be honest, I think in what I observed, yes, you should try to do both. To be honest, you should like, I like to think also roadmaps as buckets. So you can see like, okay, how much we gonna invest? Like 100% is the time of the team, of your squad, if you work in squad, for instance, and it's for 1 quarter, how are you gonna invest it? And you can say like, okay, we're gonna invest, for instance, 40% of our time on making sure we get to this commodity level of the competitors, and we're going to spend the other 40, for instance, on the tripling down on the stuff that make us unique, and the rest is going to be about bugs, technical depths, or even delights. I think I'm digressing a bit, but I think like delight is getting super important because really barebone MVP only work in blue oceans. Markets right now, most market, there is a lot of competitors. Expectation of people are pretty high today. So your products have to be lovable. You probably heard about minimum lovable product, but yeah, delights it's important. Yeah.
I heard that on Lenny's podcast this morning, actually, I think. Yeah, talking about lovable products. We're out of time here, but yeah, that's it from the questions. And I just wanted to say thank you so much, everyone who's watching on all the different platforms. Thank you so much for being here and sending all your questions. We're going to be here next week, Tuesday. Yeah, and again, thank you so much, Robin. This has been really, really fantastic. And
yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what lempire do. It's exciting.
Yeah. Let's keep in touch. Anyone listening, if you have some question, you need some help, like feel free to shoot a message or an email on LinkedIn. It's fine. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the best place to find you? Just LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn mostly.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much. Yeah, we're going to end the live stream here. And yeah, if you don't mind just staying a few minutes, Robin, so we can just do some feedback work there.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks.